LSU, Reshaping Futures.
Good morning, Lasallians. I am Angel Kagud, and welcome to our Presidential and Vice Presidential Forum 2022. The time has finally come, and the aspiring Lasallian leaders who will take the torch and ignite the passion of leadership will take the mic and speak their hearts out. This Presidential and Vice Presidential Forum 2022 is to review their policy records and reveal who they are and where they stand on issues that matter to us. Also, this is a test of skills and competencies, so you can make a side-by-side comparison of their personal and leadership history. To officially begin this forum, let us have first an opening prayer, and please remain standing for the national anthem.
Makita nimo ako makita ra ni sa television ko.
Yes.
Set me free from my fears and hesitation. Let the earth shine to liberty. Fill me with spirit to face the challenge. It's all the change I long to see. Today I start the change I want to see. Even if I'm not the light, I can be the spark. In faith, service, and communion, let us start the change we want to see. The change that begins in me. Today I start the change I want to see.
Even if I'm not the light,
If I'm not the light, I can be the spark. Faith, service, and communion. Let us start the change we want to see. The change that begins in me.
Jesus in us.
Jesus in us.
Mayang magiliw, pero sa silangan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan na ng magiging, sa manlulupig, di ka masisi. Sa dagat at mundong sa simaya, sa langit mamakaw, manirag ang tulan, awit sa panlayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdirinig. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw na luwal, ating pagsinta mo ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya lamang may
Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. That is why we are here today to inform and serve you our fellow Lasallians ahead of the July 13 to 15 election. Today we want to dig deeper, better understand, and of course, challenge our candidates. We will find out who is fitting, ready, and deserving to lead. At this point, it is time to bring them in. Here are your candidates. Let us begin with Zuriel C. Cabanag, studying Bachelor of Science in Tourism Management, and a candidate for a position of University Student Government President. Hannah Rija V. Palangan, studying Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management, and a candidate for a position of University Student Government Vice President for Internal Affairs. Joseph Andre C. Du, studying Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in Marketing. And he is a candidate for a position of University Student Government Vice President for External Affairs. And lastly, Ms. Raya Lay A. Ingracia, studying Bachelor of Science in Psychology, and a candidate for a position of University Student Government Vice President for External Affairs. Thank you so much, candidates, and welcome to our Presidential and Vice Presidential Forum 2022. Good luck, candidates. It has become customary for candidates, particularly for President and Vice President, to engage in a forum. It is a structured argument that requires rules, among them limits on speaking time to ensure fairness. Each candidate will be given a minimum of 45 seconds or 5 seconds and a maximum of 60 seconds or 60 seconds in answering the questions. Each of the candidates is obliged to answer 2 questions per category. There will be a bowl in front of the candidates with the numbers. The candidate will draw a number from the bowl corresponding to the question that they will answer. So here are the categories of questions. For the first category, there are student-based questions. For the second category, there are general questions. And for the last category, there are random questions. So here is the lineup of the candidates who will answer the questions. First will be the President, and then the Vice President for Internal Affairs, and then the Vice President for External Affairs, and then the next Vice President External Affairs candidate. To help you keep track of the time, you will hear this sound. To signal you have 15 seconds left. You will also hear this sound to indicate that your time is up. Now that we're clear on the rules of our forum, let us proceed with our first category. At this point, you will be answering student-based questions. Let us start with Zuriel. You may now draw the questions. Okay, Zuriel, you have picked number 8. Here is your question. Who is Zuriel? Describe yourself in 3 words.
For me, Zoriel, I am a leader, a friend, and also a student. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zuriel. Now, Hannah, it is time for you to draw the questions. Hannah, you've picked number 9. Now, here is your question. What do you think is the biggest problem that the students are facing today? Why do you say so? Again, what do you think is the biggest problem that the students are facing today? And why do you say so?
I think the biggest problem that the students are facing today is their mental health. We are aware that mental health illnesses are very rampant nowadays, especially to those students who are struggling in their online learning. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Now, it is your time to pick a number.
Number 6.
You've picked number 6. Now, here is your question. How will you convince a grade 12 student from the other school to enroll himself or herself in LaSalle University? Again, how will you convince a grade 12 student from the other school to enroll himself or herself in LaSalle University?
I will convince a grade 12 student to enroll here in our institution for his or her college education by informing her of our core values, faith, service, and communion, which makes the LaSalle schools very different from other schools and universities around the Philippines or even around the world. We are an institution which which focuses not just on academic development, but as well as on holistic development. And we are a community of people who are competent. We are a community of people who are confident with each other, and we are a community that has a progress with each other, and relatively we are better than other schools. Thank you.
Now, Raya Lay, it is your time to pick your question. Number 5. Raya, here is your question. How will you address the needs of those students who are struggling in their online classes? Give concrete examples. Again, how will you address the needs of those students who are struggling in their online classes? Give concrete examples.
First of all, those students that are struggling with their online classes needs to go through our team talks so that we can go through series of solutions to apply to those students that are struggling with their online courses. But if I were to give a concrete answer right now, I would probably provide them a um, an what do you call this? Kanang mag-offer ko nila og kana ganing kana mag-offer ko nila og kanang ginambit the block. Sorry.
Is up, Raya. And now, thank you so much, candidates, for answering the first set of questions for our first category. Now, let us proceed with our second round for the first category. Are you ready, candidates?
Ready.
And now we have 4 aspiring Lasallian student leaders here in one stage today to answer the second round of our student-based questions. Again, let us begin with Zuriel.
Number 2.
Okay, Zuriel, here is your question. Why did you run for an office in university student government? Again, why did you run for an office in USG?
Before I will answer that question, I have something first to say. direction is better than speed, because some other people are fast enough but don't know the directions. First of all, I run for this position because of my passion to lead these student governments, and not only for myself, for the growth of myself, but for the others. I'll be leading them into the betterment, and also for the growth. And I think there will be a perfect time and a perfect place, and I think I am into this place, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zuriel. Now let us proceed with Hannah. You may now pick your number.
Number 3.
You've picked number 3. Hannah, here is your question. Consider yourself as an elected officer already. Now here's the scenario, Hannah. You are to communicate to your team about your plans for the upcoming event, but there's one among them who don't have a strong internet connection, and that person is really eager to help. Now, Hannah, how will you communicate him or her knowing the adversities? Again, consider yourself as an elected officer already. Here's the scenario. You are to communicate to your team about your plans for the upcoming event, but there's one among them who don't have a strong internet connection, and that person is really eager to help. Now, Hannah, how will you communicate him or her knowing the adversities?
Thank you, Miss Angel. If I were to communicate to my team about my plans for the upcoming event, but there's one among them who don't have a strong internet connection. So, first of all, I will consider that officer, since I know that he or she is very an active officer in this organization. After our meeting, we will continue the meeting without him or her. But after the meeting, we will set another meeting so that we can hear his or her insights, his or her opinions or suggestions about what he or she can contribute to our event plans. Thank you, Miss Angel.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Now, it is your time to pick your second number.
Number 1.
Number 1. During an activity, as the brain of an organization, how will you gather your fellow men in one setting, knowing that we are facing this pandemic? Again, during an activity, as the brain of an organization, how will you gather your fellow men in one setting, knowing that we are facing this pandemic?
Being in the COVID-19 pandemic, we now have the solutions, and those are the vaccination programs. Now, as a leader and as the brain of the organization, I will spearhead the promotion of vaccination, especially to my co-leaders. In that way, we will have an easier access to face-to-face meetings. We will not longer be limited only to the internet, since not everyone can be expected to have a strong and reliable internet connection. However, I believe that meetings can be more efficient, meetings can be more reliable, and meetings will be more productive when done face-to-face. And by doing face-to-face, vaccination is very important. It is required. So by promoting the vaccination program to everyone, especially to my co-leaders, face-to-face activities will not just be easier for us, but also for the rest of the student body. Thank you.
Very well said, Du. Now, let us proceed with our last candidate. Raya, you may now pick Your number. Number 7. Raya, here is your question. As the next Vice President for External Affairs, Raya, how will you able to check your constituents knowing that we are all struggling in this pandemic? Again, as the next Vice President for External Affairs, how will you able to check your constituents knowing that we are all struggling in this pandemic?
Thank you for that question, Hannah. During this pandemic, it's still very important to take care of our mindset so that we can take care of the people under our umbrella. And as the next vice president, I will check my constituents through doing team meetings, um, checking and um, checking with their well-being, how they are doing during this pandemic, and making suggestions and solutions, contributing solutions on how to overcome the problems that they may be facing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raya. And thank you so much, candidates, for answering the first set of questions bravely and sincerely. And that ends our first category. However, we still have many questions to ask when we return. This is a Presidential and Vice Presidential Forum 2022.
One of the most reputable
Now, with our second category. At this point, we will be asking our aspiring Lasallian leaders general questions. Still, Zuriel, we will begin with you first.
Number 6.
Number 6.
Number 9.
Number 9, okay. So here is your first question for the general question. Zuriel, who or what inspires you to run for office? Again, who or what inspires you to run for office?
First and foremost, what inspires me is the desire of my heart, and also the dream, and also for those leaders who are mga nag-una sa ako, and they already inspires me that we can be a leader, because each one of us has a hidden leaders inside us. And what brings me here is that I see hope, and I hope that there is changes and growth for this school year, and also for us. And thank you. That's all.
Thank you so much, Zuriel. Now let's proceed with Hannah.
Number 10.
Number 10. Hannah, here is your question. What traits do you think a leader must have, and why? Again, what traits do you think a leader must have, and why?
I think the traits that a leader must have are being dedicated to the responsibilities that you will be facing, and also being passionate to it. Thank you, Angel.
Thank you so much, Hannah. And now, next is Du.
Number 6.
Do you pick number 6? And here is your question. If you will become the next vice president for external affairs, who among the members of your organization you think is the most important member, and why? Again, if you will become the next vice president for external affairs, who among the members of your organization you think is the most important member, and why?
If I will be honored enough to be the next Vice President for External Affairs in LaSalle University, I think that the most important member or component in this organization is the entirety of the student population itself. Why? Because we are leading for them, and it is very important that we lead them to lead them. It is very important that as we lead, we hear their sentiments. They are leading us to the right paths of the leadership that they want, the changes that they want, and the developments that they want in this institution. It is very important that the entirety of the student body is being heard, not just the leaders, not just the ones who have been voted for this in these positions, but it is the ones who voted. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Du. And now let us proceed with the last question for our first round in the second category. Raya, you may pick your number. Number 8. Raya, here is your question. If you are to choose, will you delegate the task, or do you prefer to be involved in every task? Again, if you are to choose, will you delegate the task, or do you prefer to be involved in every task?
For me, if I am the say like project manager or the expected to be the vice president, um I would prefer to use both. I would delegate, and then I would also want to be part of every process that the task would go through, because um it's important that every person gets to do the task that I know they can do, and I know that they can finish with excellence. And at the same time, I also want to um, get the opinions and the the current situation of that task, so that I can evaluate if that is good enough or not. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Raya. And thank you so much, candidates, for answering the first round of our second category. And now let us proceed with our round 2 for the second category. We have 4 aspiring Lasallian student leaders here in one stage today to answer the second round of our general questions. Still, we begin with Zuriel.
Number 3.
Zuriel, here is your question. What sort of leader would your team say that you are? Again, what sort of leader would your team say that you are?
Um, I think my team would determine determine me as the one who would lead and the one who would follow, and of course the one who would listen to them. Of course, we are not just running for the positions, but we are running as a family. We are connecting one another despite the diversity. Even there's a diversity, we have the unity, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zuriel. And now let us proceed with Hannah Palangan.
Number 7.
Number 7. Hannah, here is your question. Who among the leader or leaders whom you know that you look up to and try to model yourself after? Again, who among the leader or leaders whom you know that you look up to and try to model yourself after?
Among the leaders that I look up to, uh, I would I would choose Sir Red. Sir Red, I've known Sir Red since I was in first year college, and I can see that he's very determined, very passionate, and very dedicated to his role as the former president of the USG in this institution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hannah. And now, Do. It's your turn to pick your number.
Number 5.
Number 5. Do. What will you do when you are unsure about how to achieve the goals of the team? Again, what will you do when you are unsure about how to achieve the goals of the team?
So what I will do when I am feeling unsure of the goals of the team is that I will remember that I am not alone in the team. We are a team of different individuals, and so it matters how other people in the team thinks about the projects that we are going to do, the actions or the projects that are being planned. And so when I am feeling unsure about these agendas or in these actions, I will ask my teammates, my co-leaders, and also the other students outside the organization, so that we may have an advanced evaluation while planning ahead. Because it is hard that you always just evaluate right after the events or the projects, but it is important to evaluate your plans ahead of time, and it is important that many people are involved in this planning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Do. And now for the last question of our second category. Let us welcome Miss Raya Lay. Number 1. Raya, here is your question. In what way can a leader fail? Give concrete examples. Again, in what way can a leader fail?
I think a leader can fail when he or she starts to become selfish, when he realizes that the power that he has is um, when the power that he has, he takes advantage of it for himself and not for the people that he's leading. So, example, our example, when a leader receives sum of money for the benefit of the constitutions that he is leading, he is using that money um, to put in his own pocket and use it for his personal use. So that's my answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raya, and thank you so much, candidates. Thank you for bringing your expertise and experience around the table. However, we still have many questions to ask when we return. This is a presidential and vice presidential forum 2022. And we are back. Let us now proceed with our third category. And we have 4 aspiring Lasallian student leaders here in one stage today to answer the first round of our random questions. Still, we begin with Zuriel. Number 6. Zuriel, here is your question. What is the most dangerous trait in a leader's career? Again, what is the most dangerous trait in a leader's career?
I think the most dangerous trait in a leader's career is the manana habit. I think as a leader, you should think ahead of time and act ahead of time because time is precious. You need to plan it ahead of time for you to, in order for you to accomplish tasks and duties. And I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zuriel. And now we proceed with Hannah.
Number 8, Miss Angel.
Number 8. Hannah, in this time of pandemic, what is your greatest learning that you think will help you achieve your future goals? Again, in this time of pandemic, what is your greatest learning that you think will help you achieve your future goals?
I think the greatest learning that I've learned during the pandemic in order for me to achieve my future goals is that being passionate to my to my s- um being passionate to what I like to do, because um I believe that being passionate in every way is that will help me achieve my goals, of course, and with that I can also help my family to achieve their goals also. Thank you, Miss Angel.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Now, do it is your turn to pick your question.
That's number 5.
Number 5. How do you align your organization with your vision and mission? Again, how do you align your organization with your vision and mission?
I will align the university student government with the university's vision and mission by, of course, empowering the student body. Why? Because this institution's vision and mission is focused on its student body. That's why if I will be honored enough to be the vice president for external affairs, I will focus my attention on empowering the student body from different genders, from different places in that our institution offers, to students that are in different passions. It is very important that we empower them, because if we empower the student body, they become more productive as students, as individual, and as future professionals. And in that way, we reach our vision and mission in LaSalle University. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Du. And now let us proceed with the last question for our first round in with the random questions. Number 1. Raya, here is your question. What is one decision you wish you didn't make? Again, what is one decision you wish you didn't make?
The one decision that I really regret doing is when I stopped going to school for 3 years, and um, that really prevented me from exploring the things that I could have learned in those 3 years. Because you know standing right here in front of you, I realized that um, I have the skills to also lead, and I have the skills to um, become a servant leader, and I haven't been able to do that when I stopped schooling for 3 years. And that was the one decision that I really regret and I wish I did not make. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raya. And that ends our first round for the random questions. Now, let us proceed with our second round. And now we have 4 aspiring Lasallian student leaders here in one stage today to answer the second round of our random questions. Still, we begin with Zuriel. Number 10. How do you lead brainstorming and foster creativity among others? Again, how do you lead brainstorming and foster creativity among others?
I do believe that leading brainstorming and foster creativity among others is to connect with them. I think that two heads is better than one, and each and every one of us, student leaders, have the capability and the creativity to create good ideas towards our goals, which is to for the growth of the student body, and of course for our service. This is an ending service for us, because we have served, and we will be of service. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you so much, Zuriel, for your answer. And now, let us proceed with Hannah.
Number 9.
Hannah, how do you feel traits like empathy and vulnerability play a role in your leadership? Again, how do you feel traits like empathy and vulnerability play a role in your leadership?
Traits like empathy and vulnerability is like putting yourself in the shoes of the students. This is an important trait as a leader, leading in a big institution like LaSalle University, because um, it means that you are you you are like experiencing the you're like experiencing the, what do you call this? You're experiencing the student body's struggles, or what they want to speak up in their minds. Thank you, Miss Angel.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Now it's your turn, Do, for your last question.
Number 7.
Number 7. As an organization gets larger, there can be a tendency for the institution to dampen the inspiration. How do you keep this from happening? Again, as an organization gets larger, there can be a tendency for the institution to dampen the inspiration. How do you keep this from happening?
Well, if we're in the context of LaSalle University, Ozamis, as we get larger in size and in population, yes, there is a possibility that we may dampen the inspiration or the energy and the Lasallian fire burning here in our institution. But how do we keep this burning? It is very important that we keep our students reminded of our core values: faith, service, and communion, which makes Lasallians special, which makes Lasallians stand out. It is very important that we keep them reminded of these traits, and these will inspire them. It is very important that we keep them reminded of the life of Saint John Baptist de La Salle and how he fought through struggles in life, struggles in his mission, and how we can succeed also as future professionals and individuals here in our institution and outside in the real world. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Do. And now for the last question, we have Raya, Lay, and Gracia.
Number 3.
Raya, what do you think are the lacking qualities of today's leaders? Again, what do you think are the lacking qualities of today's leaders?
I think the lacking qualities of today's leaders are the lack of sympathy and empathy to the whole Philippine population, because there have been cases that issues regarding the like example, the sum of money that is supposed to be for the people, and the leaders do not have the sympathy and the empathy to look through the lens and feel the struggles and the problems that the people are facing, so they surpass that perspective. And yeah, that's the reason that people are struggling as well. So I think that is the lacking qualities that leaders need to build in their self. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Riley. And that ends our third category. Thank you so much, our aspiring Lasallian leaders, for answering the last set of questions with courage and honesty. Thank you so much, our aspiring Lasallian leaders, for bringing your expertise and experience around the table. Now, at this point, you are given the chance to deliver your final speech containing your advocacies and platforms. You are only given 60 seconds or 60 seconds to deliver your final speech. Still, we begin with the candidate for the USG President, Mr. Zuriel Cabanag.
Hello everyone. I am Zorel Cabanag. So, I am here in front of you. I am here to connect with you. So I am stepping up in this challenge to be one of your leaders. And I know this won't be easy for me because I know that every day learning is an ending process in our life. So please support us. We are ULEAD, Youth Outstanding Leadership Excellence and Duty. So in our platforms, we have the advocacy for gender-friendly institution, and also we have also for specifics, we will release our general platforms during our campaign period. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zuriel. And now we proceed with the candidate for Vice President Internal Affairs, Miss Hannah Rija V. Palangan.
Hello everyone, good morning. I am Hannah Rizia Vailoses Palangan, a candidate for Vice President for Internal Affairs. Because of my experience with the student government, together with the other organizations, I believe that I have the ability, the passion, the credibility, and the understanding on how an organization works and its position itself. So with that, I do believe that I can help our dear alma mater to even grow better in every single day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Hannah. And now, let's proceed with the first candidate for Vice President of External Affairs, Miss Joseph Andre C. Du.
As a proud transgender woman studying here in LaSalle University since senior high school, I have experienced and seen myself the lack of emphasis on LGBTQ plus rights here in our institution, as well as the lack of mental health support. And it is due time that someone stands up for change. I am here in front of you humbly asking for your trust and support to help me start that change. And if I will be honored enough to attain this position, I can promise and assure you that you will have a dauntless, fearless, and confident enough vice president who will fight for students' rights, students' gender equality, students' mental health, and students' empowerment. My plans and goals may be too ambitious and progressive, but that is the main goal of the university student government, to make changes that matter, changes that are visible, and actual changes that can change the student experience in our university. Once again, I am Joseph Andre Du, also known as Yana Stephanie, asking for your help as I run for Vice President External Affairs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Yana. And now, not last but not the least, we have the Vice President for External Affairs candidate, Miss Raya Lay A. Engracia.
Hello, everyone, and good morning. This phase might be new to you. I'm actually a first year, and I am an aspiring student leader for the position Vice President of External Affairs. And although I'm new to this platform, I still believe that I have the courage, the ability, the skills to run and to start an organization with a fresh menu. That's what I can offer you guys. And I can offer you activities that can foster experience so that you can be ready for a future career path that you may want to excel in the future once you graduate. And although this whole concept of me is new to you, I can assure you guys that I can deliver the promises that I am implementing and saying today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raya. And now, Lasallians, there you have it. You heard it straight from the candidates themselves. Now, the decision is yours. Thank you so much, candidates, for showing up in the most difficult times and for your participation in our democratic process. I would also like to thank those of you who are watching on our digital platforms. Also, thank you so much, Educational and Digital Media Services team. Leadership, Development and Wellness Office, and Student Activity Center for making this happen. And do not forget to like and visit the LaSalle University Ozamis Facebook page and University Student Government official Facebook page to get regular updates. Let me also plug the Presidential and Vice Presidential Forum 2022 of the Basic Education Unit. Watch as we stream via Canvas and YouTube, which will take place later, July 4, 2022 at 2:30 p.m. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our Presidential and Vice Presidential Forum 2022. Again, I am Angel Kagud, your host for today. Animo, LaSalle.
Hail, hail, alma mater, hail today, LaSalle. We'll hold your banner high and bright, a shield of green and white. We'll fight to keep your glory bright, and never shall we fail. Hail to be our alma mater, hail, hail, hail. Hail, hail, alma mater, hail to De La Salle. We'll hold your banner high and bright, a shield of green and white. We'll fight to keep your glory bright, and never shall we fail. Hail to be our alma mater, hail.